Welcome to my tutorial for the 360-degree turning kick, also known as the tornado kick. The name of this kick in Korean is Sambek Yukshipdo Dollyo Chagy, which translates to 360-degree turning kick. So, although many people call it a tornado kick, that is not the actual name of this technique. Now, let's begin by breaking it down into its basic elements. This kick is in fact a combination of two movements. First, a turn through your back, which is then combined with a scissor turning kick or jumping turning kick. In order to execute the 360 turning kick properly, you must first be able to do these two things comfortably. So, first let's look at the scissor turning kick or jumping turning kick. This is a basic kick which isn't too hard to learn, but to do it properly you must keep in mind a few things. First, you must raise the front knee, and as you kick, the raised foot must reach the ground at the same time as the kicking foot reaches its target. The whole body is impulsed by the hip and it turns along with the kick. The power and turning comes from the hips, not the knees. The knee of the kicking leg must not be chambered as in a regular turning kick. Focus on turning your hip and moving your feet together at the same time. Now let's look at the turn behind your back. This might seem simple, but it in fact serves as a base for all spinning techniques. Learn to turn with balance and grace with an upright posture. As you turn, the foot that moves must hover comfortably close to the ground. Keep a natural space between your legs at all times. Don't tilt your body and keep your weight centered. Now let's chain both movements together. At first, turn and do a simple turning kick in 2 instances. You must turn all the way until you face your target before you kick. Now, try turning and doing the scissor kick. Let's merge both movements into only one movement now. Remember to turn all the way before kicking. You must face your target before you launch the kick. Start slowly and add speed as you get better at it. Some important details to keep in mind. When you do this kick, it's easier if you're in a side stance. Thus, you can adjust your footing right before turning. Also, remember to turn completely and face your target before kicking. You don't want to kick until you have turned 180 degrees. As you turn, don't elevate the foot too much or you will lose balance and speed. Although this is a jumping kick, you want to start off close to the ground as you turn. Some common mistakes to avoid. Skipping while turning. Mostly beginners do this. Skipping while you turn breaks the momentum of the whole kick and throws your weight around. You actually want to turn in only one motion, keeping your weight centered. Don't skip around. Kicking in a volley style. This is very common and it's the result of very poor form, or very poor technique. This kick, like all other techniques, must be done with control and precision. You can follow through the target after kicking, but it must be done with control. Use your hip to manage the spin. You should be able to land facing the opponent right after kicking. Turning in a wide stance or with a bad posture. When you turn, you must keep a compressed and controlled spin radius. If you swing your arms or legs around, all your energy and balance will fly out your limbs. Keep your back straight and your limbs close to your center of gravity. The more compressed your body is while spinning, the more speed and control you will have. So, turn in a small and controlled spin radius. Keep your limbs close to your body. Crossing the legs while turning. When you turn, you must bring your foot along with you, hovering comfortably. If you keep it in the back, you will cross your legs, locking your hip in place. Always slide your foot along the way, while keeping a shoulder width gap between your legs. The striking area. I could make a whole video on this subject alone, but I will try to summarize here. The turning kick can be executed in different ways, and there's 3 ways to strike with it. The first and most common is the instep or top of the foot. It's the one with the most reach, but it is the weakest. Use it for sparring with your training partners. It's the safest way to avoid injuries. It's also the easiest way to use this kick. The second way is using your shin bone. It is the way with the least reach, but it can do a lot of damage and does not require as much precision as the other 2 methods. Just like in Muay Thai or kickboxing, you can use the shin bone to apply this kick. Drive through with your body and make sure the distance is correct to apply your shin into it. You can apply more weight into this kick than with the other 2 methods. Finally, the third way is the traditional way, using the ball of the foot or metatarsus. This has a little less reach than the instep, but more than the shin bone, and if trained properly, does the most damage of all 3 ways, as it has a very powerful piercing effect, condensing a lot of power into a small, hard area of impact. This method, however, requires the most technique and accuracy to be executed properly. Keep in mind, as always, there's many ways to execute each technique, varying with styles and teachers. This is how I do it, so let me know if it was helpful for you. Os.